Oh, yeah. I believe we are live. Are we live? I
We
believe
are alive and well.
on YouTube. And this is Almost Human Live. It looks like it's only me and Tony this week. We were scheduled to do something else, but Maddie and Wayne bowed out. So they're fans of Alice Cooper. So we say, you know what? Let's keep it for next week so they can all be here.
hmm
So it's only Tony alone, and the only thing I can think of to talk about, Tony, is the new song released today with Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah. What was your take on it?
I was so happy. I loved it. I loved it. To me, it was like, now, as an Ozzy fan, I love this sound, this older sound. It has this older vibe to it. And it's not, and Ozzy doesn't sound processed.
hmm
Just sound,
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
he sounds good, and the song is good, and I'm
hmm
happy. Though it's not an Ozzy album, right?
Yeah. What is it? Is it going to be a Billy Morrison record, or do you
Who's
know the story behind it?
who's Billy Morrison, by the way?
So he's the other guitar player in the video. You got Steve Stevens and Billy Morrison, and I know Billy and Ozzy do a show on was it Sirius? And so I think they're really connected. And I someone was telling me they thought Billy might be Ozzy's AA sponsor or something like that. I don't know, but anyhow, um, so I don't know what this is for. I don't know if they just did a single or if they're just going to do an album and it's Billy's album and he's having guests on it. I really haven't read any details on it. I just heard that the song was coming out and it was called, as soon as I heard it was called Crack Cocaine, I laughed. I said, oh, okay, what's this going to be about? But man, I watched the video today and the song was really caught me. It's got a good hook about it. Um, and like you said, man, Ozzy sounds great on it. He doesn't sound processed. It's a good riff in the song. It doesn't sound like Zach Wild, even though it does have a little pitch harmonic little thing going on in it, like he does. But it doesn't sound like these last few albums that Ozzy did that are done from a producer's point of view, whatever that Andrew Watt guy, and it doesn't sound like Black Label Society Ozzy Osbourne. I thought it kind of harkened back to, it kind of reminded me of Perry Mason a little bit. And I do like Down to Earth. I think that's probably one of the last Ozzy records that I really enjoyed. But yeah, it's a good song. I was much impressed. It looks like Mr. Bark at the Noon is gonna come on here.
That's right,
See
Mister.
the Terrifier face popping up here.
I'm here.
There
Can
he
you hear me?
is.
Can you hear me?
There he is.
Your webcam utility has an EO5.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? We're just gonna.
You know what EO5 means?
What's that? That's an EOS.
It's like a shampoo.
Oh,
It's like it's like
Alberto EO5.
EO. I said EOS. His
EOS.
EOS webcam.
We're just
That
gonna turn
that
it off.
that five looks like an S.
Yeah.
Hey, Wayne.
We're just gonna turn that camera off because I'm not gonna fidget with that today. Are we on?
Yeah, man. We're
we-
live.
We've been on for like 5 minutes, man.
5 minutes. It's 8:03.
3 minutes then.
All right. Hi, everybody.
What's
Hi,
happening?
Wayne. Well, Wayne, we were just talking about the new Ozzy song. Did you hear that today?
I listened to it on the way home.
What'd you think?
Um, it's okay. I'm not. It's nothing special to me.
Me and Tony liked it. There was a comment online a guy wrote and said, crack cocaine, really? Crack cocaine? That's so lame. And I'm like, when has crack cocaine ever been lame? What the hell?
I mean, if you want to do a drug, I mean, that's probably one of the best ones.
They're all good.
Well, except for fentanyl. You don't want to do that one.
Well, because that's prescription. Only street drugs are good.
Yeah. But
Fentanyl that's found in the street, that's okay.
But I don't know. I don't. What do you guys think? I missed the whole thing. So what do you guys think of it? You liked it?
We
I thought it
liked
was a good song.
We
I think it's
liked
good.
how Ozzy's voice didn't sound processed.
I did notice that. Yeah.
And it sounds like older Ozzy. It doesn't sound like what Ozzy's been doing for the past few records.
Yeah.
So
I was saying that it doesn't sound like the Andrew Watt produced stuff, and it doesn't sound like the
Doesn't sound like
Black Label Society Ozzy, because the early Zakk Wylde stuff had its own style, and it seems like those last records, like Scream and stuff like that, just seemed like it sounded like a Black Label Society album with Ozzy singing on it.
Yeah,
It's just everything was totally detuned and
sounds like Ozzy doing Rob Zombie songs.
kind of in a way, yeah.
So yeah, I do agree.
Good comparison, yeah.
It doesn't sound like that, but I don't know. It doesn't blow me away. It's not an Ozzy. Who's that guy? I don't even know who that guy is.
Well, I was telling Ralph, he does a radio show with Ozzy, I think on Sirius.
Okay.
And a friend was telling me they thought that he is Ozzy's sponsor, like AA sponsor as well. But I don't know Billy's history. We could look it up. I want to say he may have played with the Colt at one point, but I'm not sure. I don't know if anybody out there can chime in and tell me what Billy Morrison's how he is involved in the rock scene, because the name's familiar.
Is it the new AC/DC bass player from the Cult too?
No, isn't Duff McKagan going to be the U.S. tour? I heard he was going to be the bass player on the U.S. tour, possibly.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I don't know, the guy that they took to Europe. I forgot who he played with, but I don't know. But speaking of which, did you see all the AC/DC vinyl that's getting reissued through Walmart? But they're doing all the LPs. I guess it looks like they're doing everything through like all the Bon Scott years is what I saw. They may be doing some I'm sure
they have it's Brian Johnson stuff too. I was actually in Walmart the other day and I saw a lot of them there.
Okay, so I don't know how far they're going, and if they're going up through like Who Made Who or what, or if they're going all the way through the whole catalog. But they're on gold vinyl. They look really nice.
Yeah.
It was, I think I saw there was 20 of them total. So because there was like a bundle you could buy, but I was like, I do collect AC/DC vinyl, but I probably will pass for now, because I've got good copies of all their stuff pretty much, and I've got some European pressings and stuff like that as well. Those
I have hold on,
the Aussie pressings and stuff,
But I've never had on vinyl, only on CD. Ball Buster. What is it called?
Ball breaker.
Ball breaker. Stiff Upper Lip. What was the one after that? Black Ice. And then Play Ball. No, not Play Ball, but Rock or Bust. Rock or Bust is the new one. But those three I don't have on vinyl.
They'd be good to get. What's that? Are they being released by Walmart? Those? I'm not sure.
No, the only one, it looks like, from what I'm looking at now, it's Razor's Edge, Back in Black, Dirty Deeds, For Those About to Rock, High Voltage, Highway to Hell, AC/DC Live, Powerage, and Who Made Who.
I don't have Razor's Edge either. I hate that album, but I got to get it for being a completist.
Yeah, I picked them up. I picked up those later ones. They were all reissued several years back. I picked them up off like Amazon, pretty cheap, but Ball Breaker and Stiff Upper Lip and those particular ones.
I was gonna grab Power Rage the other day, but I wasn't sure if I had that one or
not. That's the best Bon Scott album.
I think so. Well, that and Highway to Hell.
Yeah, for sure.
I saw a very disturbing picture of the original AC/DC. That was AI. It was horrible. It looked like them, but it was just a little off, all of them.
This AI stuff is just, just imagine the stuff that they could do to put something on someone or something and accuse someone of something now. It's just scary in a way.
Yeah. Petrifying.
But a lot of those AI photos, like you're talking about, it's always something off. you'll look at it and you'll go, yeah, wow, that's kind of cool, but something's not right.
Always look at the hands. Look at the fingers, look at the hands, look at the legs sometimes. And if there's like extra digits or if they're bent like weird or something like that, then you know immediately.
Yeah. And in this picture of AC/DC, there's a Coke can in there. And the Coca-Cola is kind of blurred out.
Oh.
Weird.
Well, it can't be any more disturbing than their Sears portrait studio photo, the one where they're all sitting around the little palm tree, you know what I'm talking about, and Bond's bib overalls. That is like the just gayest thing looking ever.
Horrible. Well, I want to plug something I just got.
Oh, look at that. I've heard of that band. I just never listened to them.
First album, what, 30-some years?
I believe since 1990.
Yeah. Wow. Socialized Hate, and what was the second album?
Violent by
Nature.
It's great. It's awesome, but you know, it's the first two are different, but it's still killer metal. And the bass player in this band is my bass player. He's
okay, cool.
And he plays on this album. Josh is now their bass player, and Josh and my other bandmate Ryan are starting an S.O.D tribute band with Billy.
I saw that. That's really cool. So is Billy living in Florida now?
No, Billy lives in Texas. And what happened was when Solstice played Texas like 3-4 years ago, this chick, because she knew Solstice, and Ryan's like a huge MOD fan. You know, S.O.D too, but he likes MOD the best.
Oh yeah.
She knew he loved Billy, so she knew Billy and brought him out to when they played. And then the next day, Billy invited him to his house, and they were in his pool. They sent me pictures, like the gold album on the wall of S.O.D and all that stuff. And now they're doing a tribute. You know, how amazing is that? I was like, holy shit, dude, that's so cool. Because I'm a big fan of S.O.D. I hope I don't get canceled for saying that. But and MOD.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah, Scott Ian doesn't even like to talk about S.O.D anymore, does he?
No, you don't.
Yeah, well, that's some classic thrash metal there. That first album, man, it's riffs galore.
Oh yeah,
and even that first MOD record. I mean, shoot, that's even more non-politically correct than S.O.D if you think about it.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, we got some people watching, and hey, my buddy, our Count Ralphus is on here from Rock Fantasy Files. What's up, Ralph?
What's up?
Mean Metal Mike. Brenda's on here. Jimmy Schwartz. Yeah, cool.
May the Schwartz be with you.
Count Ralphus said he bought the Ball Breaker out when it first came out and was working for Caroline. Yeah, those are really expensive now, because a friend of mine had one, like an East-West pressing, and it was like 200 and some bucks he was trying to sell it for a couple years ago. Yeah.
Tony, did you get anything for your birthday? We share birthdays, obviously, this month. So did you get anything for your birthday?
Yeah, I got a cool Screaming for Vengeance t-shirt. I got some gift cards, some money. So yeah, nothing that I can just hold up and show right now other than a t-shirt if we go get it. But and we went to we saw Municipal Waste on my birthday Saturday. And I should have got the t-shirt from there. And it's one of those things where, I just didn't go get it. And they had an event shirt for that show because it was Richmond, their hometown. And they did a Municipal Waste shirt with the skull, like Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it said Municipal Waste. And in the back of it says Waste 316 because it's March 16th.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys are big wrestling fans. I don't know. I'm about to hit Ryan up and see if they've got any left. Linda said she don't remember seeing any when we were going on the way out last night, but that night. But that was a great show. They played with Ghoul and Necrot, and there was a couple other bands on the bill we didn't see. We didn't get there in time. We got stuck in traffic trying to get there. We had to come in on I-95 into Richmond, and they were working on a bridge, and it just took us like 2 hours to get 3 miles. It seems like. But yeah, we got there in time to see the main acts, and Ryan hooked us up with VIP, so we were up in the balcony. We could look down on the mosh pit, and a Municipal Waste mosh pit is just crazy.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, they were just going off, and Tony, the singer, he'll come out and just throw a trash can full of trash right into the mosh pit, you know, and it just goes flying. And there were some cardboard boxes out there. It was just crazy. Yeah.
Sounds like you had fun.
Yeah, great show. Great
Very
show.
cool. I didn't get too much. What did you say, Rob?
Yeah, Municipal is an amazing live band.
Never saw them.
Yeah, Nick and Ryan's got their side project band Bat, and that they just released a new video, and they've got a new album coming out in May through Nuclear Blast. And they're leaving like next week. They're going to South America, do a tour with Exciter. And then yeah, I think later on too.
I like that first
That what?
First Bat.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Bat's like, you know, Municipal Waste is more like skater, thrash, punk, you know, it's got a lot of DRI influence into it. But man, Bat is like total Venom, Sodom worship, you know, totally.
Yeah. Love it.
Very cool. I didn't get too much for my birthday, but my wife got me this it's a tin.
Oh, nice.
It's like a little bootleg thing from Amazon. So that's pretty cool.
Cool. So she can hit you over the head with.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
What else did I get? Not for my birthday, but I bought this myself. The new Bruce Dickinson album.
I love that album.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I wish it sounded better, but it's pretty good. And it
I've
comes
listened to it a few times. It hasn't
card.
grabbed me. Oh, is it autographed? That's nice.
Yeah, I don't have a Bruce Dickinson autograph, so
awesome. That's killer.
Yeah, I missed the Walmart version because I think it was a little bit cheaper. This was from Newberry Comics, so it was a little bit more money.
So there was a Walmart version of the Bruce Dickinson. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. Yep. New Ghost figure.
Cool.
Papa Emeritus 3. That's pretty cool. I got them all so far. What else did I get here? The Three Tremors CD, the latest one. And
now who's into Three Tremors now?
I'll show you. Sean Peck.
Okay.
Tim Ripper Owens,
mm-hmm.
and Harry Conklin from Jack Panzer.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Three Tremors I saw.
Yeah. Yep, that's the Three Tremors. Yeah, I got a package deal, so it came with these holographic cards, which is pretty cool because they're all doing like different things. Came with a patch. I got 2 shirts. I think I'm wearing one now. Am I wearing it? Yeah, I'm wearing a new Three Tremor shirt right there. And they gave me a free CD from Hellscream. That's actually the guitarist from Cage. This is his other band, Hellscream.
Okay. Yeah.
And I also got a poster signed by Tim Ripper Owens and Harry and Sean Peck there. Cool. Very cool. And for my birthday, my friend Stan gave me a Halloween CD, and it's autographed on the booklet there. So that was pretty cool of him. Thank you very much, Stan. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the band Civil War, but he also got me this. This is the last album, Invaders. Pretty good stuff there.
Is it called that the Civil Wars or the
Civil War?
Civil War. Okay.
Yeah.
It's more. I know it's kind of like a folky rock band called the Civil War.
Yeah, I've heard about them. It confuses me between that.
Yeah.
I bought this myself. The new Haunt album.
Cool. Yeah.
Came yesterday.
That's really good.
What else do I got? I think and I got this too. This is pretty cool. This guy on Facebook, I met him through somebody else I did a band interview with. And he started putting out this thing. It's called The Deck of Many Bands. And he finds all these bands and everything, and they put their album cover, their artwork on here or whatever. And he puts a little link to the band's website or where the people can buy their music. So this is very, very cool. You could I guess he's got it under The Deck of Many Bands if anybody wants to check it out. Actually, my bands are on here. My Phoenix Rain's on here. Seven Angels on here too. It's buried.
Wow, cool.
Really, really cool. I mean, I didn't think I thought these were like more like playing cards, and then I get it. Mm-hmm. These things are like the size of my hand, it's pretty cool. A lot of really cool bands on here. I think he's got a pretty good idea. If anybody's looking to add their band, if anybody's watching has a band and they want to, promote their band or whatever, get in touch with this guy. His name is, if you go into my profile on Facebook, his name is Geo. If you look for Geo, Geo, I think it is, or just message me or whatever. And I'll send you to him because he's looking for a lot more bands to go on the cards. And it's a pretty cool promotion thing for your band. So check it out.
Right on.
Yeah, it is neat.
For Tony and Wayne's birthday, my friend J-Man bought me the Wasp box set.
Oh, wow.
That was so nice of him.
Wow. Very cool. Thank you.
So I thought you got that before.
No.
I thought you had gotten it before, yeah.
Everybody. This is the second pressing. I found out later that the first pressing was numbered. This is not numbered. And it also brought in some kind of saw blade that this one doesn't have. But am I
cool.
I mean, I did an unboxing. It brings a cool book. It brings a poster. Each album brings something cool inside, and
very cool.
And also like the vinyl with all the B-sides. I love the B-sides.
That's cool.
Most of those B-sides are better than WAP songs on their actual albums, I think. Savage.
Savage is great. Yeah.
I think I can think of a few songs on Last Command I would switch for Savage.
I love their cover of Mississippi Queen. That's so cool. When it fades out at the end, you hear Blackie say, "That one note is a fucking bitch."
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought about getting that just for the hell of it. I thought it would be pretty nice. I just I have all the Wasp records. I have some originals, some Japanese presses, and all the singles and stuff up to a certain point. I actually just got I've been trying to find a U.S. original pressing of Headless Children on vinyl.
I have it
because I had just this one, the one of the reissues that's come out on like Snapper Music or whatever it is that do the reissues now, or Bad Fish or whatever the label is. And I got one. So I got an original U.S. pressing of Headless Children finally to add to the collection. And have you ever noticed the differences on the cover arts on those? If you compare your original copy that you have, Ralph, to the one that's in the box set there, you'll notice that several of the people at the bottom have been changed.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it had something to do with images they couldn't use or something. I don't know. They did some changes to it.
Wow.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. And I just got I splurged a little birthday money and bought a Japanese copy of Defenders of the Faith. The pressing that comes with it came with like a little tour book. It's got photos and stuff. You know how a lot of the Japanese stuff has like extra stuff in it. Yeah, it was kind of pricey. I'd been looking for one. There's a great store in Ohio called Hey Suburbia Records, and I buy a lot of stuff from them. They have a lot of good Japanese stuff. They post videos on their Facebook page a couple of times a week. The guy just does a flip through, and you just got to claim it, if you want it. Actually, today he posted a video, and he had a live bootleg Exciter record. I'd never seen this before, and I'm like, "What is that?" So send him a message and said, "Yeah, I want that. Hold that."
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. And speaking of box sets, what about finally Tony Martin?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
coming out in May.
I did a news report on it. It'll be up on Black Sabbath Sunday.
It's amazing. I'm glad that they're doing it, and I'm gonna definitely get it. And I'm just glad that it features those albums that are so hard to get, because I was expecting to get a best of compilation, like a double album or something, but this looks like it's going to be really nice, and so I'm looking forward to it, because I do have an original pressing of Headless Cross, but I don't have an original Tear, Forbidden, or what was the other one? No. Cross Purposes, yeah. And they didn't include an Eternal Idol in it, probably because that's a Warner Brothers owned album.
I see a lot of people bitching about it, and I like bitching about it because I got it.
Yeah, and that's actually pretty easy to get. I mean, you can find it. You can usually find it for under $40.
I've had that on vinyl forever. Like when Headless Cross came out, I bought it on CD. I couldn't find that on vinyl back then anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tear and Cross Purposes and Forbidden, all of those I bought on compact disc.
I was surprised they didn't include the live Cross Purposes in it as well. I have an unofficial double album that you probably have it, Ralph, that came out of the Cross Purposes live show.
I don't.
Well, when that came out originally, it was a CD, which wasn't the whole show, and then a VHS, and it came in a big box. Remember?
The thing is, Ian Wadley has that. and he told me he was going to give it to me. It was up in his attic. This is when he lived in New Orleans. So now he moved to Seattle. Now that you remind me, I got to talk to him. Did you find the goddamn cross purposes? Because he has the CD and video box that he wants to give it to me because, you know, Ian, he doesn't have good taste in music. He hates that shit.
True.
So, you know, they put that out on DVD eventually, but the DVD is edited. It's not even the whole show that you get on the VHS.
I got a DVD from the VHS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
That's
that.
good.
I do have the full show.
So you have the whole show then, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm interested to hear what the new remix is going to sound like for Forbidden. That's what I'm going to buy the box set for. I have all the other stuff, so I don't really care, but I want to hear the remix.
I've got faith that Tony's going to make it, you know, make it sound good.
That's the other thing. This Forbidden remix was talked about, what, 8-10 years ago, before there was ever any plan for a box set. So this Forbidden remix was not done for this box set. I think what happened was Tony, I remember when Tony was working on it. I think when Tony finished it, the record company was like, no, man, let's wait for a box set or something, because if we just release this alone, it's not going to sell. But if we put it in a box set with Headless Cross, especially Headless Cross, it'll sell, you know? And
yeah,
I am very much looking forward to it, because some of those songs on Forbidden, they're almost good. So hopefully he can make it really good. But man, Rusty Angels, leave that alone. That song rules. But, you know, yeah, the other ones can use some fixing. So, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that.
We'll see what happens. And there's some other songs that weren't released too on there, right?
Well, that's going to be on the CD version.
Okay.
Not on the vinyl. And those songs are good. I know them. One of them is a complete ripoff of Hot for Teacher, believe it or not.
Really?
What was that, Bad Moon?
No. No, that's not going to be on there, because Bad Moon was a B-side on Eternal Idol.
Okay.
It was, I think it's Cloak and Dagger, or maybe another one. One of the B-sides, I believe, on the Tear album. Sounds just like Hot for Teacher. It's hilarious. Like, this is Black Sabbath, but it's a really cool song. I like Cloak and Dagger too. I like all those B-sides, man. Actually, my favorite song on Headless Cross is Black Moon, which was a B-side. I like the Headless Cross version more, but the Eternal Idols B-side is awesome. Nerd Black Sabbath talk.
Do we have any Jackal Jackasses this week?
What?
Do we have any Jackal Jackasses this week?
Oh, yeah. All right.
Is there any?
Yeah, I want to spit on the grave of Lou Reed. Have him be the Jackal Jack-off of this week, because fuck him, that pompous asshole with that metal machine music. He can kiss my ass and take a walk on this wild side. He is the Jackal Jack-off of this week, Lou Reed.
Well, congratulations, Lou Reed.
Congratulations, Worm Food. All right, so what else? Come on, we got to keep.
I just came back from the new Ghostbusters movie. Has anybody in the chat seen it? Because Ralph does not like Ghostbusters, by the way. Do you like Ghostbusters, Tony? I can talk to you.
Yeah, I'm going to go see the movie for sure. Me and Linda were talking about earlier tonight. Yeah, going to see that.
Did you like the last one that came out?
No,
you didn't like it. All right, well, you're not going to like this one. Why didn't you like the last one?
I don't know. It just didn't do much for me. It's not awful, but it didn't do much for me.
Yeah.
You're talking about the ones with the chick. You're talking about the ones with the chicks in it, right?
No.
Okay, there's one with like some chick. The chicks.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That was awful. Okay,
yeah, nobody should watch that. That was
that was the last one though, right?
No. The reunion one. I don't even know what it's called.
I thought the reunion one came
Afterlife.
out first.
I think it's called Afterlife.
Yeah, Afterlife was great. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, okay, all right, yeah. So that was the last one. So that was good. Yeah. If you like that one, you're gonna like this one. I was hoping it was gonna be a lot more funnier, but there are funny parts in it, and Slimer's in there again. You know, the green monster guy, and he does some funny things, and I like what they're doing now with the little marshmallow men. They're like in and out the movie. It's really cute. My wife and my son were laughing their asses off at that part. But it's a very good movie. I think they did a really good job on it.
Hey, can I change my Jackal jerk off of this week? I want to change it now.
Well, who could it be?
Anybody that likes Ghostbusters or Jackal Jack.
Knew it was coming.
Come on, Tony. Let's get off of this show. We're just starting.
I knew it was coming.
I can't deal with people that don't like what I like. Let's go, Tony.
Hey, I will say one good thing about Ghostbusters. Rick Moranis should have been in the whole first movie because every time that guy showed up and
it was hilarious.
It was the best.
Yeah.
He was awesome, but he wasn't in enough.
No.
Every time he left the screen, I had to deal with these Jaguars with the gel and all. But Rick Moranis was awesome in part one. So there, I got something good to say about those.
I'm glad you like something. I wish he would have came back. It sucks that he's like not making movies anymore. It would have been cool because there was a lot of appearances from people from the first original Ghostbusters movie and this new one.
You know that Rick Moranis got mugged?
Yeah, not too long ago, right?
It was caught on camera and everything.
Yeah. Shame.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
The guy's hilarious, man. But hey, man, fuck it. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You know how much money that shit made? Fucking retire, man. Fuck it.
Yeah. Didn't he become like a folk rock musician or something?
That I don't know. All I
think so.
If it wasn't for him, Ghostbusters would be a complete zero.
Whatever you say.
That's my opinion. Everybody loves Ghostbusters.
It does.
I understand. It's the same thing with the Breakfast Club. Everybody loves the Breakfast Club. That movie sucks so hard.
That's one I'm surprised they haven't tried to redo yet, but it's probably coming. It may have already been redone. It's probably some Redux version of it on Tubi somewhere now.
It'll fit better today than it did back then because it's a bunch of Karens, and doing detention, Yeah. And, somebody, I think it was Mark Daly, said they should have showed why they were in detention. They don't explain why these kids were in detention.
I never saw it. I never saw that movie. I never wanted to either. It doesn't look like I want to sit there and watch people stuck in a school all day.
So, back then, bad acting would put you in detention.
On this movie subject, did you guys ever watch the original Crow movie?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I did. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. But this new preview I've seen of the new one, I have no interest in at all.
Yeah, they went really like new age with this new Crow. I just finally saw the original Crow movie a couple of weeks ago, and I liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I think there's a new alien movie coming out.
Yeah. I think so.
I think that's way later, like October or something. But yeah, I saw a poster of it. Look cool. I'm one of these weird people that love every alien movie. Yes, I don't think anything will top the first one, but I like part 3 and 4 and 5, and I like them all. But I would equate Alien to Terminator. The first one is so badass, you can't better it. And then after that, it just wasn't the same. It became more of a superhero thing. And to me, man, Arnold Schwarzenegger sucks like a good Terminator. In Terminator 1, when he was killing everybody, he was all pissed off. I loved him in that. In part 2, T2, when the kid's like, don't kill him, Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger should have put a bullet in that kid's head. Fuck John Connor. Fuck you.
Hey, Ralph, here's a piece of trivia for you. Ralph said that Count Ralph has said that Rick Moranis went to grade school with Geddy Lee in Canada.
Wow,
that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Said Geddy writes about Rick Moranis in his new autobiography, which I have not picked up yet. I'm sure that's going to be a good read.
Wasn't Rick Moranis part of the Strange Brew? No.
Yeah, wasn't he? He was one of the was it the McKenzie brothers? Yeah.
They had a song called "Take Off to the Great White North" with Geddy Lee.
That's right. They sure did.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love.
Speaking of which, the first Rush album just turned 50.
Oh, I love that fucking album.
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of Rush purists that don't like that album.
It's supposedly this past week. I guess it got its American or its national release or whatever, international release or whatever you want to call it. Because I think it was originally on was it Moon Records or something? It came out in Canada first, so it may have been out maybe on this month, and it came out a little later this year, maybe on Anthem through Mercury or whatever label they were on at the time. But yeah, I love that first time. I love the simplicity of it. I think it's just a good rock and roll record.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love that Zeppelin Warship Rush. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
And it carried on a little bit in Fly By Night. You still had that vibe, Best I Can, all those songs. But then, By Tour and the Snow Dog showed where they were going.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But there's a lot of songs on Fly By Night that you could tell wasn't really written with Neil Peart yet,
Count Ralph says, yeah, Strange Brew. They talk about Getty's guest appearance in his book. He's got pictures in his book, in Getty's book, about the Strange Brew. Yeah.
Yeah, Strange Brew. The Strange Brew is like the Cheech and Chong of beer.
Yeah.
It's a funny movie. I haven't seen.
I always liked their version of the 12 Days of Christmas. True love gave to me a beer. And it just keeps going on. It's all about beer.
Yeah.
Great.
So what else? What's going on?
Have you heard about this? The Eclipse, the big event of the Eclipse coming up on April 8th, I believe it is.
Yeah, fill me in on that. I've been hearing people talking about it. I haven't done any research on it.
Oklahoma, the National Guard is set to deploy for the upcoming total solar eclipse, when as many as 100,000 people are expected to visit the county. Why are they sending the National Guard to Oklahoma for people going to watch the eclipse? Isn't that kind of strange? And then they're telling the people in that town to stock up on food. Why?
Well, hey, don't question government. Follow orders and shut up.
Something's going to go on. I bet you aliens are coming. As soon as that eclipse happens, there's going to be aliens.
Look.
Don't doubt me.
Aliens will never come visit us. You know why?
Because we're too goddamn stupid.
Nope.
What?
Because like 50 years ago, in Sammy Hagar's book, he talks about how he was abducted by the aliens.
Yeah. They learned their lesson, right?
Yeah, they learned.
They studied Sammy Hagar, threw him back on Earth, and they're never coming back.
So it's their fault, really. We could have been rid of him. But
Sammy saved the human race. Because now these deadly aliens are not coming back. They were here to serve man, if you know what I mean.
Crazy.
Twilight Zone reference, serve man.
But they think with the influx of visitors, it has a potential to overtax local resources, and thanks to the training and experience of our guardsmen have working alongside local agencies all across Oklahoma, is uniquely qualified to support our fellow Oklahomans. This is insane.
Yeah, is this like the choice place to go to watch the eclipse?
Yes. But you know what? It's so stupid.
Makes sense.
Everybody's going there.
Have a lot of people coming in to watch it.
I get that.
How long is it supposed to last?
4 minutes.
Good night, man.
You know what I don't understand? What does this have to do with Kiss?
I think they're doing a concert there.
Yeah.
Right after the eclipse is over.
The avatars will be performing at the eclipse. Right now you can go on Kiss Online and get your official Kiss Eclipse t-shirts. Yeah.
Close encounters of the Kiss kind. During the eclipse, you will be able to see Jupiter and another planet at the same time, but also a comet, which makes it unique. Oh yeah, there's a comet too. I forgot about that.
So there's a comet that you can see at the same time.
Yeah, we're gonna die. We're gonna die.
Yeah,
basically, it's what that means.
We were supposed to die in 2012. Remember that movie?
That's true too. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, a few years late.
It came out like a couple months before we were supposed. Were we supposed to die like in December?
I think every year we're supposed to die, pretty much.
Well,
see what Ralph said. What you just said.
I'm telling you this right now. One of these years, we're gonna die.
One year, it's gonna happen. I feel it coming. Space Ace will be riding the comet. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
might.
I gotta say something, man. Today, I was taking my walk, and this guy came this close to running me over, because it was like one of those sidewalks where cars could come this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and I went, whoa. Now, I'm not going to blame the guy because there's a wall. It's like, dude, that little spot there, they should do something about that because you can get run over easily. And I'm telling you, if that guy would have killed me, it wouldn't have been his fault. But it would have sucked because this you wouldn't be watching this right now.
That's right. Yeah, I don't have your password, so we couldn't get on.
You never know, man. I could be walking down the street and bam,
Bam, and then Almost Human's gone.
Almost Human's gone, and it's gonna be all these channels, Rat Salad Review, tributes.
It's going to be called No More Human.
No more Human. And Rat Salad Review is gonna have like a tribute to Dr. Fuck.
Oh yeah, it'll be great. God, why couldn't that have happened? It would have been a great show.
Jersey Devil says apparently there's a planet somewhere that just had to hear "Can't Stop Loving You" live from the Red Unrocker.
I almost got run over by a car. I was playing a show. We were one of my older band was playing a show, and we went out because we weren't ready to play yet, and we went out to go get something to eat quick. My guitar player, he starts crossing the street, so me and my singer start following him, figuring the way to go is fine. You know, we get in the middle of the street, all of a sudden I hear these brakes. You know, somebody's car is screeching. I look over, and this car is like inches away from me and my singer and my guitar player. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, we're following you. I could have died. I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, Count Ralph said Ace is drinking and driving again. Watch out.
Yeah. You know, when I was a little kid, I used to live in this place called Tarrytown, New York, which is upstate.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sleepy Hollow is inside Tarrytown. I had this horseman and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's a small town, nothing really going on, and I'd say probably like 6 years old. I'm in first grade, and I'm walking to school, and this car comes and sideswipes me, kind of like hits my side, and I fall down, and I get all bruised up. And my mom was, you know, there's a store my parents own. My mom saw it, came out, caused a commotion. They took me, I didn't go to school. They took me to the hospital, you know, got checked out. Everything was fine. I was fine. I get sent home. Next day, that incident was in the front page of the news.
Wow.
That's what a small town it was. Like, you know, 6-year-olds get hit by a car on Main Street. With a whole article, I have it somewhere. A whole article about it. It was like, man, this town is boring. I mean,
that's when your star was born.
Yeah.
That's when
A friend of mine got hit by a car, and a woman ran over his legs, and she didn't know what she ran over, so she backed up and ran him over again.
Oh.
He's okay. He's still alive. He's still alive. He's everything's fine. But yeah, he got ran over twice.
Wow.
Broke his legs, both of his legs.
Yeah, I know somebody stupid that did that once. They ran out in front of their girlfriend's car trying to stop her from leaving, and she ran over him, and then she accidentally backed up over top of him afterwards. And he lived, and he had a lawyer, and they were going to sue her insurance company, but like a fool, he married her. So then all the charges all the lawsuits were dropped. He's no longer alive. He's no longer with us.
Oh, she killed him?
I know some idiots.
Who knows? He wasn't the brightest cat in the world.
I don't have to name some people, but I will tell you one I love them too. It hurts for me to say. But one guy got married to a girl. Before they got married, she pulled a sword out at him, like to kill him with a sword. This was before he married her. After that incident, you know, they split up. They weren't talking. The next thing I know, they got married. I was like,
wow.
That's love, man.
Must have been a big sword.
That's some stupid love right there, boy. Girl's gonna kill you with a sword, and then you're like, let's get married. Let's get hitched. I love the guy though. The guy's awesome, but man.
Now Troy's asking us who Billy Morrison is.
Oh yeah, I did look that up before.
Okay, Steve Stevens is Billy Idol's guitar player. But yeah, see if you can figure out who Billy Morrison is.
He's a British guitarist and singer who plays guitar with Billy Idol and performs with the Los Angeles-based cover band Royal Machines.
His stage name is Bobby Dahl from Poison.
He was in the Cult in 2001.
So he was in the Cult. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody was in the Cult.
Camp Freddy. I don't know what that is, but Dave Navarro was in it. Matt Sorum. I don't know who that guy is.
I think that was like an all-star band or something.
Hey, you know what's really good talking about all-star? The new End Machine.
I heard the new song. I thought it was really good. That guy's a great singer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the new M Machine, I gotta buy it. It's good, man.
Yeah.
And
But
apparently,
I didn't like Last Lynch Mob, but I like Dirty Shirley too. That's another one that's really good.
Someone asked, I just saw someone asked what we thought of the new Accept. Montana asked what we thought of the new Accept song. I thought it was okay, but you know, these last few Accept albums, I can't tell them apart. They just sound that modern production makes everything sound the same.
and I think that's why that guy left the band. I can't remember his name, but one of the original members.
Peter Baltes.
Yes.
Yeah, the thing is that I enjoyed Stampede and Leningrad and Blood of Nations.
Blood of Nations, God, it was great. Yeah.
Oh,
what a comeback.
That was my favorite album of 2010, easily. But after that, there's a song here and there I like off each release. But
Undertaker was good off the last one.
Overall, the whole album though is kind of like,
It's just it sounds very just overproduced. And Peter left and ended up joining Udo, which is really crazy. So Udo has more original members of Accept than Accept does, actually. Because I don't know if he's still doing it, but the drummer for Accept, Stephen Kaufman, ended up being the guitar player in Udo or UDO for years. When I first saw UDO, they did a show with Raven, and it was in the, I don't know, like late 90s. And Stephen Kaufman was playing lead guitar for UDO. And he was nailing all the Wolf Hoffman solos. He's a great guitar player. It's crazy. He'd been the drummer for years, just a multi-instrumentalist, I guess.
I like Touchdown.
Which one would you say, Ralph?
The last Udo album, Touchdown.
Some of the stuff was cool. That covers album he did, I thought it was kind of hit or miss, but that video he made for We Will Rock You is hilarious because he plays all the characters in the video. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of covers albums. Though I'm not a big fan of cover albums.
Yeah, it depends on what it is. I
thought the last Deep Purple was weak. The cover.
Yeah, I didn't care much for that one.
They've been making some great albums with Bob Ezrin.
But I thought the Saxon albums were pretty good that they've done with a bunch of covers. They could have whittled it down to one album instead of doing two. I think they just recorded a bunch of stuff and they just shelved some of it and something to kind of tidy over while they were waiting to do the new studio record. Maybe they released this part two. It's called Inspirations, and part two was called More Inspirations. But I thought their cover of Toto Hold the Line was great.
Well, I haven't, but
it really depends on cover albums for me. It depends on also too what songs the bands cover. Like that Aerosmith album, Honkin' on Bobo. Like those songs are so old, I don't even know what the hell they are. I never heard the original version, so that album just goes like beyond me. I can't even listen to that. But like the Iced Earth covers album, I like that one a lot, and the Halloween covers album is okay. It's got some cool songs on there.
Tribute to the Gods.
Tribute to the Gods, yeah.
Something.
Texas Troy asked, "Who do we like better, Accept or Udo?" I got to go Accept just for number of albums that they got that I like.
I like Touchdown more than the last three Accept albums. I'll be honest.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. But when it comes to classic stuff, I mean,
that can't be beat. Rest of the Wild? You kidding me?
Those first couple of records, UDO records, are really Animal good. House. Animal House is basically an Accept album because it was written for Accept.
Yeah, what happened was they told Udo, "Look, we're going to get another singer, but you can keep the music we're doing for this new album. You can keep it. We're going to go with another singer." That's
because the original UDO band had two of the guys that had played in Warlock, that when Doro kind of went to America and changed the name of the group to Doro or whatever, but yeah, that first record was really good. I love that. I remember when Eat the Heat came out, I hated it. I mean, it doesn't sound anything like Accept. I mean, even the guitar tone, the famous patented guitar tone that Accept has, is not on Eat the Heat. But now, years later, I can listen to it and appreciate it for what it is. I think it's a pretty good album. It's just not a good accept album.
Yeah.
But it's some well-written songs on it.
Yeah.
Even that singer too. He wasn't bad, but he is not a good replacement for Udo.
Not for Udo, but they wanted to go Americanized. They were trying to cash in on the whole like hair metal thing and all,
Yeah.
you know, which he's a good singer. He was in a band called Bangalore Choir, and the first Bangalore Choir album was really good.
Yeah.
Udo's a fucking legend, man.
Yeah, Udo is he's the man.
I have like people that aren't really famous, I think are gods. I'll tell you another one that I think is a god. Extremely underrated. Eric A.K. from Flotsam.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Great singer.
One of my top favorite singers.
Man.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Flotsam. I think they're releasing some great stuff. That last album had that song "Brace for Impact." Maybe my favorite Flotsam song ever.
Yeah.
It's amazing what that band has done in the last few years.
Did you see Lisa Mann's news?
No.
They are opening for Flotsam and Jetsam, her band Splintered Throne.
I love Splintered Throne. That's
really good. But
White Crone's another great. That chick's talented, man.
She is. We got to get her on here one night. I'm sure she.
Who does she play with?
Whatever. Yeah.
What group? What's her group?
Well, she has her own. She's a blues musician. That's her like main gig. But she's also doing her own band, White Crone, and another band called Splintered Throne,
which is metal. They're metal.
Those are metal bands.
That's who's playing with Flotsam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flotsam. I mean, you know, Flotsam have carried on. You know, they released a lot of records there in the 90s that, you know, I remember I used to write for zines, and I used to get the promos from Metal Blade. They would send a lot of stuff that Flotsam was doing there in the 90s, and it wasn't really, I mean, they were just trying to capture something, but they were trying to be grunge and everything else, just like do a good thrash record. And then they came back a few years after that, man, with some really good stuff.
That was the problem with them. They're always all over the place, you know, like you said, in the mid 90s. But I did like that album Drift. I thought that was pretty cool. And Quattro was good.
Dude, Drift.
Yeah, Drift was good. I like Quattro. There was some there that just
they tried to sound like Pantera. It was weird. It was very weird.
They were doing groove metal, and they were trying to sound like cross between Pantera and Alice in Chains or something. Yeah.
I think Drift is a masterpiece. And Drift is my favorite. Well, that and Doomsday, but Drift is different. It's not really a thrash album.
No,
not at all.
It has, Me, Smoked Out. What's that mellow song on there? I absolutely love something. I don't know, but man,
I think that whole album's really good. Really,
the whole album's amazing. Yeah. I saw that tour and check out this tour. It was Megadeth, Korn, Flotsam and Jetsam, and Fear Factory. It was a trip tour.
Wow.
And all they played was Smoked Out, which is fine.
Mm.
But yeah, Korn was nobody then, and they still had a higher level. And there were people at the show with Korn, like ears of corn around their neck. A lot of people. That was the first time I ever heard of this Korn band.
Yeah. I got into them for a little while and then just gave it up.
I like one Korn song a lot, but everything else is garbage.
Yeah.
Songs I like is way later. It's not early Korn. I forgot the name of the song though.
I went to see them. I saw them on that first tour just for the hell out of it, you know, but never been a fan.
A couple years ago, they came around with Alice in Chains, and I was hoping that Alice in Chains was going to be the headliner of that show, but unfortunately, they opened the show. So me and my friends saw Alice in Chains play. As soon as Korn came on, I was like, "All right, let's go," and we all like, "All right, let's go." And everybody left. We never even stayed for Korn. I couldn't stand it no more.
No, I like that one song. That maybe somebody in chat will let us know the title. It's a video with the sky cracking. They're playing in the sky falls while they're playing. I think that's a really cool song, and I can't stand Korn. I can't stand new metal. It's maybe the only new metal song I like in existence because I hated new metal with a passion. Limp Bizkit.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all keep talking. I think you're calling.
And didn't Jason Newsted come from Flotsam and Jetsam? Yes, they did, Troy. I mean, yes, he did, Troy. Sorry.
You know, I was going to say, I I saw them in 2012.
Oh, I got
They
that
put
too.
this record out called Ugly Noise.
Ugly Noise, yeah.
And they played with Testament. And I bought this at the show, and they actually had all original members back in the band had come back except for Jason Newsted.
Yeah.
And they had a guy filling in on bass that I can't remember what the story was now, but actually the guy who had been their bass player didn't do the tour, and they had to get a fill-in bass player. And I got kind of drunk at that show that night, and my friend Mike was telling me, he said, man, you were over there. He said, you were hilarious. He said, you had Michael Gilbert, the guitar player, cornered, telling him how he should have got Jason Newsted back in the band for this tour, because Newsted had that Newsted band at the time. Right. He could have promoted that, and he could have been an original member of the band. He said, you were hilarious. He said he was just sitting there looking at you, watching you, like he was just like, yeah, that would have been a great idea. Why didn't we think of that? I don't even remember it. I was pretty drunk, but
that's too funny. But a guy on my route, he loves Flotsam and Jetsam, and he actually talks. I don't know if it's Gilbert or one of the other guitar players, but he's actually friends with him, and they do talk every once in a while and stuff like that. So me and him were talking about metal bands and stuff like that. So
the last time I saw him, the only original members were in the band were was Eric AK and Michael Gilbert. Yeah. But they had Ken Mary, the legendary Ken Mary on drums.
Yeah,
that was great to see. Got to meet Ken that night, first time I'd ever met him, and just, man, God, he's played on so many great albums that I love. He's Fifth Angel, and Alice Cooper, and Chastain.
Right. I never realized how many other bands he was in, because I didn't know him until the Flotsam and Jetsam thing, and then I look up who he is, because I was supposed to interview him one day, and then that got a little screwed up. But I was looking up, stuff about him and seeing what other bands he was in and stuff. And then I found out the Fifth Angel thing, and I'd never even heard of them, but I checked out the music and I love them now. They're a great band. But I didn't even realize he was on the Alice Cooper album either. So it's, he's an awesome drummer, really good drummer. Yeah, and he really kicks ass on the latest Flotsam and Jetsam albums too. I think he really brings them back to the thrash type stuff.
Yeah, I saw recently he's playing with. I think Jack Russell's version of Great White. He's out. He's a working drummer. He's going to go wherever there's a paycheck at, Yeah. But I think my favorite band they ever did was Fifth Angel. I don't know if you ever listened to Fifth Angel, but especially that first album, man.
Those first two albums are awesome. We did a podcast about those first two albums. They were really good. It was the first time I heard them too. Was surprised.
They're resurrected now as well. He's part of that. I think it's just maybe 3 of the original guys, maybe he and the bass player, one of the guitar players are doing it, and they've been going out and playing festivals and stuff.
I bought those CDs. I haven't listened to them yet, but I do have them. Newsted kills on bass, and one was my favorite in Metallica when he was in the band. And Justice for All and Ozzy, No Rest for the Wicked was the first album I bought with my own money. That's Texas Troy. So many thrash bands in the 80s were chasing Metallica's success and changed their sound, changed back years later when the dreams of catching up to Metallica died. That is so true.
That is very true. Yeah, so many bands, when Metallica had that Black album, it's just like a ton of the big bands, Testament, Exodus, everybody was trying to go more mainstream. God, I tried to listen to Exodus Force of Habit not long ago, and I was like, it's got a couple of good songs on it. But for the most part, it's just like, wow, they were really trying to go for something. They did a cover of Bitch from the Rolling Stones on it with the horn section and stuff, I guess it was like, okay, we got to chase this commercial type stuff Metallica's doing. And maybe if we do a cover, we can release that as a hit, and that'll be a hit for us,
The only song I really liked on it, I think it was the opening track, and then the last song, Feeding Time at the Zoo. It's like one of my favorites.
Feeding Time at the Zoo, yeah. Now, the one before it, Impact is Imminent. I thought that was a great record.
Yeah, it's classic Exodus.
Only Death Decides is probably one of my favorite Exodus songs, period. It's just great.
Yeah.
Testament did The Ritual, and it's just so many. That's, even like, Flotsam had what we were talking about, Quattro. That's a good album, but it was very leaning more commercial. I remember seeing them on that tour. When they came around, I was telling someone that I'm actually going to see Voivod and Prong Saturday night, and I was telling a kid I work with about seeing Prong on their first tour, with their first big tour, they had Beg to Differ album, which that was more their thrashier sound. And then, but they were opening for Flotsam, and it was the When the Storm Comes Down tour when they were opening for Flotsam.
I like that album.
1990. Yeah.
They always put that album down because it sounds like crap, but I think it sounds good. I like that album. I think it's really good.
Master Sleeps.
Yeah.
Hey, Ralph,
Jimbo.
someone said to tell you that Be Cool or Be podcast out. He said Coming Undone was the Korn song that you like with the Crack the Sky.
That's it.
Jimbo wants to know what Flotsam and Jetsam album is best for a newbie to buy.
Ooh, the first album.
You think
for sure? Doomsday for the
if you really like
man.
thrash, like really good thrash, then yeah, I would say.
Yeah, that first album is the best. I mean, I love No Place for Disgrace as well, but that first album,
I like that one better.
It's just my favorite.
I didn't know about Flotsam until after Jason joined.
Yeah, me neither.
Me neither.
My friend bought Doomsday, and I went to his house to hear it, and I was like, oh, man, that whole album's a bass solo. I mean, Jason Newsted's insane on that album. Yeah, he wants to talk, and they take out all his bass playing.
Well, they said play exactly what James is playing.
But I don't know. I'll agree with the first two albums. I would say try those two, and then even try the new ones. I mean, the new ones are awesome. The last couple albums are really good.
Yeah.
What the hell's the name of the new ones? Blood in the Water, right? And
Chaos, something Chaos.
Blood in the Water.
Yeah. What's the other one?
Then they have the self-titled Flotsam and Jetsam album.
Yeah.
Really, really the one with the beast standing in the like an orange cover. It's got the Flotzilla.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's Blood in the Water. That album.
I thought that was called something Chaos. I don't know.
God damn.
End of Chaos.
End of Chaos. Yeah.
Check out.
I got a copy of that they Eric and Michael autographed for me when I went to see him on that tour.
I had Michael sign it, but Eric disappeared. But man, what a singer, man! What a band! Talk about
his son. Eric's got a son that's a singer, and he was on one of those.
He was on
American Idol type shows or something, competing at one point.
And Eric was on it too. They interviewed him with his father.
Yeah, there. I saw it on YouTube. Yeah.
I filmed Flotsam when Mike Rivera was their singer.
Oh, really?
He didn't make no albums with them. He just did a tour. I filmed it, and fast forward like 15, 20 years later, Blabbermouth puts up my video like, bootleg shows up of, it was because I uploaded it. Blabbermouth, that same day, somehow Blabbermouth got a hold of it. Mike Rivera fronting Flotsam because it was a rare thing back then.
James Rivera's fronted him for a little while too.
That's what I said. Who did I say?
You said Mike Viscara.
No, it wasn't Mike Viscara. James Rivera.
James Rivera, yeah.
Yeah, Mike Viscara was never in Flotsam.
Yeah, I saw them with him. I saw them perform. They played one of the Brave Words, Bloody Knuckles, BWBK Fest that they used to do in Cleveland. I went to a couple of those, and they performed with that lineup there. And I remember we were hanging out one night in a hotel room after the show, and it was kind of like a who's who of power metal. We're all crammed in this one hotel room, and everybody was just drinking and having a good time. But yeah, James actually, I got a bunch of friends that are in Texas right now at Hell's Heroes, which is going on in Texas this weekend in Houston. And a friend of mine had posted up some video earlier of Hellstar. I think they were performing the whole Nosferatu album there. Yeah. And he had put some footage of Doro and some of Girl School. I'm seeing Girl School Monday. They're actually playing in Raleigh. Anybody out there that don't know about it, Lincoln Theater Monday night, Girl School is playing with Lillian Axe and a version of Alcatraz, which is Jimmy that we interviewed on your show.
Yeah.
They had Doogie White singing, and he had to leave and couldn't do the U.S. tour. So Giles Lavery, who is their tour manager, is going to be the lead singer, which Giles is a singer, and he's the guy that does the theme song for the Metal Voice. And he sings in Warlord now, the Warlord tribute that they put together. So it should be interesting. Looking forward to seeing, looking forward to meeting those guys. You know, Jimmy, I told Jimmy when we did the interview, I said, man, I got this Alcatraz poster. I got to bring it and get you guys to sign it. He's like, yeah, bring it. So I got to pull it off the wall over here and roll it up and take it with me Monday. But I'm looking forward to seeing Girlschool because I had a chance to see them. They did a U.S. tour in the early 90s. And I remember they played in Raleigh. And I was like working a second shift job at the time, and I missed it and didn't go. And so I'm glad they said this is it. This is their last time coming to the U.S. So if you want to see them, if you want to see Girlschool, go see them because they're not splitting up or anything, but they're just not going to, spend the money to come over here. It costs a lot for bands to come over here and tour.
I saw Girlschool in 1980 in a little tiny club. And I just turned 18, so I was able to go in legally. And then I saw Girlschool 2 years later opening for Deep Purple on the Perfect Strangers tour. Kind of an odd billing.
Yeah, that is.
I got to see them with Kelly, Well, who's left in Girlschool now? Probably one or two members, right?
Yeah, Denise is still on drums, and Kim's still singing, playing guitar, and they've got who is it? One of the bass players. They've had several bass players. It is, but it's one of the ones. It's the one that was in Girlschool. I mean, it was in Rock Goddess. Trying to remember Tracy. It was on the first Rock Goddess album. She's touring with them. And they've still got Jax on guitar. Jax has been with them on guitar, lead guitar, ever since I think Kelly passed. Because they had gotten back together with Kelly there before she got sick.
Yeah,
that was like early 2000s. I think she had spinal cancer, if I remember right. That was terrible.
They were cool.
They were cool, And I remember, listening to Girlschool records, back in the day and stuff, and seeing the videos and stuff, and a lot of the songs I would hear, I thought that Kim was the lead singer, but I mean Kelly sang a lot of lead. Enid, the old original bass player, she sang a lot of the lead. It's you see these old videos. There's tons of old videos on YouTube of them now you can watch. And just a great rock and roll band. They were kind of like the female equivalent of Motorhead. And Motorhead kind of took them under their wing, and they did the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, EP with them, where Motorhead recorded a Girlschool song and Girlschool recorded a Motorhead song.
And they did that song, Please Don't Touch That.
Please Don't Touch, yeah.
That song gets stuck in my head a lot.
Oh, yeah, big time. That clip of them on Top of the Pops doing that together is just classic as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. All hail Girlschool.
Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Come down here, I'd go in a heartbeat, man.
Yeah.
But right on. Anybody else asking any questions there in the chat? Anything?
Let's see. I'm trying to look.
Ralph, you said Doro is only playing Warlock songs with Chris Caffrey on guitar. Yeah, at Hell's Heroes. Yeah, I did see she did do. I think Steve mentioned last night, Ralph, Count Ralph, that they had to reconfigured the set list or something. Chris had to learn some extra songs. They did Raise Your Fist in the Air, the Doro song. I guess that's a kind of a crowd, pump her up type song. So maybe that's why they did it. But he said Autopsy's playing their debut album too. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, so many good stuff. So many good bands are there. Candlemass, and just Tank. I mean, God, it's so much cool. So I wish I had gone. I really do. I just couldn't. My wallet wouldn't take it. So, but I wish I had gone. Maybe next year.
Burn the Witch. That album from Warlock, Burn the Witches.
Burning the Witches. Yeah.
What an awesome underrated. That's a killer metal.
That's album. That title track's one of my favorite Warlock songs as well. Yeah, but yeah, God, those early records were really, really good. I mean, everything up through Triumph and Agony was good, but it got a little more polished with Triumph of Agony because she started using outside writers and stuff, but kind of mainstream. What's that?
It's still a killer album.
Oh, it's a great record. Yeah.
I Rule the Ruins. That's one of my favorite Doro songs. East Meets West.
I had heard that she basically had to change the name to Doro because
So,
she
leaving
kind of
her out
lost
the
the
band,
rights
right?
to it. Yeah, but I think
Right.
in recent years she's been able to kind of regain the rights to the name.
She
So
should go out as well.
yeah, but more, I think she's been going out as Doro for so many years. I mean, a lot longer than Warlock ever existed. So she's definitely solidified as
It'd be
Doro.
stupid for her to change the name now. At this point.
Doro and Warlock would be the only
The guitar
smart way.
Warlock, the guitar player Warlock went on to do something else. What was it again?
I don't know about Tommy. I know the first Doro record has John Levin on guitar, which is with the one that's called Doro, the Force Majeure. The guitarist on there is John Levin, which is the guitar player that's been in Dokken for like 30 years now.
That's who I was thinking.
And also Tommy Hendrickson is on that album, and he's also on Triumph and Agony as the bass player, and he's been with Alice Cooper. He's been Alice Cooper's musical director for 20 some years now. He's the little short guy you always see on guitar with Alice Cooper. Other than you always have Nita, and you usually have Ryan Roxy, the other guy playing guitar. Yeah, that would be him. Yeah. Tommy.
Where is it?
You know who said Levin plays George Lynch better than George Lynch? You know who said that? Me.
I agree. I totally agree, because George Lynch is great a guitar player as he is. He never plays the same way twice. He's not going to play his solo when you go see him note for note. John Levin is, though. John Levin's going to nail it just like the album. It's going to sound just like Tooth and Nail.
The guy is beyond amazing. It just goes to show the guy's going to have respect because he's living in the shadow of George Lynch, just like that guy for a little while didn't last long. The guy that was in Rat with Stephen Pearcy and Juan Croucier, whoever that guy was nailing those Born.
You're talking about the young guy that was with him.
Nailing.
Yeah, he was killing it. I saw him in around 2019. Yeah, I saw him, man. He was great. Yeah, he was doing way better than Warren the last time I saw him with Rat. Adam asks, is Gary Shea still with Alcatraz? He's not touring with them, Adam. He's not in the touring group. He's on the albums.
So interesting question here. I really never think of this question. What are some of your favorite hard rock or metal power trios?
Triumph.
Exciter.
Yeah.
Motorhead.
ZZ Top. Motorhead.
Rush definitely has to be in there.
The Rod.
Absolutely, the Rods. Yeah.
King's X. I like King's X.
I like King's X. Newer band, Night Demon.
Night Demon. I forget about them. Yeah, a good one too.
Feature my drummer.
Rush.
Yeah, I said Rush.
Yeah. Venom, the original.
Venom. That's right. Yeah. I forget. I never really pay attention to like a lot of these bands. I only got like 3.
I just watched a really good interview.
Prong's another 3-man band.
Yeah, they are. I just watched a really good interview on the Talk Louder podcast with Abaddon. Great interview, but a little over an hour. Jason McMaster is one of the guys on there, and they did a great interview with him. He was telling some funny stories, like some Spinal Tap moments that they had. Yeah, check it out. It was really cool. It's on the Talk Louder podcast.
I'll check it out. And another 3-piece.
Celtic Frost.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There were 3 pieces.
I keep forgetting about that.
Raven. Yeah.
I never listened to Raven.
Raven's great. You need to listen to Raven. Yeah, they're coming in April. Get to see them in April.
Yeah, they're doing their last shows down here in Palmetto Beach.
They're playing with touring with Vicious Rumors and a band called Wicked, which I saw. I've never seen Wicked. I actually have an album by them, but I've met the guys. They used to come to M3, and they used to look like a cross between Kiss and Angel. They wore like white leather and platform boots. They kind of toned their image down a little bit now, but yeah, they were kind of cool. And it's another band on the bill with them as well. I can't remember the name of the band, a newer band. But Raven never disappoints. I mean, even if you're not a big Raven fan, Wayne, if you went and saw them, you would just
I never gave him a chance.
You would be
I
blown
should've.
away. And that drummer, you being a drummer, the drummer they have now, Mike Heller, would just blow you away. I mean, he plays in Fear Factory too. I mean, the guy's a killer drummer. I mean, he's kind of come in and lit a fire on them. The last couple of records have been back to the speed metal stuff again, you know?
Yeah, I really got to give them a shot.
Last year, All Hell's Breaking Loose was my favorite album of the year.
Yeah, great stuff, man. Yeah, their last few albums have just all been great. I mean, they've definitely. I mean, I can't say there's not really a Raven album that I don't like. Really, I even like their commercial stuff, but these last few have just been top notch and great stuff.
You know, on what's the name? Destroy All Monsters. Executioner. I forget the name of the album, but they recorded a covers album that was part of
it was what do you call those things? Those startup things where people donate money to you to get your album recorded. They did it for the Extermination album that came out. The one that was the last album they did with Joe Hasselvander on drums, and it was a crowdfunding type thing to get the album recorded. And they gave you like a 7-inch single that came with the album when you got it. But you got this covers album. We were talking about covers albums earlier. This one is really good. They do a lot of good stuff.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Sweet. I mean, just some great stuff on it. You know, I've sat in on sound checks for them before, and they'll be sound checking with cover songs. They were playing "Take Me Back Home" by Slade at sound check. I mean, just killing on it, man. This was when Hasselvander was still in the band, and of course he loves that old stuff like that too. So they were just jamming on it, you know.
We played a game, and we saw them sound check, but they didn't do no covers, but they did do "Lambs to Slaughter." They did Star Wars. So all these killer songs they didn't play live, but I got to see them play, like, you know, these choice deep cuts, you know.
A lot of people don't know Creator did a good cover of Lambs to Slaughter.
Yeah, they did. Midnight's another 3-piece band too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, amazing. I mean, I saw
good
for Creator. They're badass.
I saw them when they opened for Merciful
trios out there. Just trying to think of stuff on top of off the cuff.
There is, like, I can't even, like, I don't even, like, think of bands like you know, how many pieces or, you know, how many people are in the band, so I never really think about that. But just naming them off, I'm like, oh wow, there is a lot.
But some of the tightest live bands ever are just trios.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you see these guys that, like, have you ever seen King's X live?
Yeah.
No, I wish I did though. They came around here.
I've seen them when they're like play all the hits. That stuff, all the popular songs. I can't really say hits. They didn't have a lot of hits, but stuff that fan favorites. And I've seen them when they're just like, okay, we're going to jam tonight and just show everybody how fucking good we are, that we all share a brain, all three of us. And they'll go into these jam sessions where they're stop and go and all this stuff. And they're just looking at each other, nodding. And it's just like they're all on the same brain wave or something. Just crazy, you know. And I mean, you know, it's cool to see, you know. I'm not that big of a prog guy, but watching something like that is really cool, you know. Just watching the musicianship of it, you know.
Right on. All right. Anybody else, Wayne? No more questions?
No, nothing. No, there was just somebody talking about Raven.
Well, it's been.
No, Ralph said Carnivore. Yeah, that was another
Carnivore. Yes,
yeah.
Love Carnivore, man. Love that shit.
You know, I saw Dee Snider in the late 90s. He had a band called SMF, and they played all Twisted Sister. Keith from Carnivore was the guitar player.
Oh, really?
In that band. Yeah, Keith passed away several years back, but yeah, he was the guitar player in the Twisted Sister Dee Snider.
Was he also the guy that's in Overkill now? Was he in the lineup?
Yeah, Derek.
Yeah,
it was Keith and Derek.
I saw the lineup and I took a picture with both of them. I was not aware he died. And I remember that picture. He's making a funny face at me. because I think he thought I was a dork.
Well, you are. Texas Troy wants to know, Ralph, if you were on the panel for the 2014 Year in Metal Steve dropped for Rock Fantasy today. I don't know.
He's talking about Ralph. I think he's talking about the Count Ralphus, I think. I'm not sure. We got our Count Ralphus. We got a Ralph here and a Ralph here. We got
very
Ralph.
Confusing. Very confusing. only one Ralph, please.
He's Count. So you have Count and Ralph.
Count Ralph. I'm Dr. Ralph.
That's right. Yeah.
Does Wayne hate metal? Yes, I do. Metal sucks. Don't listen to it. It's bad for your health.
Ian hates metal. Wayne's okay with it.
He listens to Wayne Newton.
Yep. Go listen to Weezer or Taylor Swift.
Weezer.
I like Taylor Swift.
She's good, right?
I actually like her.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I did a deep dive and yeah, I like some of it.
So that was that one of the donations you got to listen to a Taylor Swift album?
No, but I'm hoping it's coming.
Because that's the only way I would listen to it. I mean, it doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't interest me at all.
I was intrigued, and after my intriguement, I became a Swiftie.
Wow.
Now, I will say a lot of her songs I don't like. Okay, I did a deep dive and I listened to a lot of her songs, and there was like maybe 3, 4 I really liked. So that qualifies me as a Swiftie. I like 4 Taylor Swift songs. That makes me a fan.
How many Weezer songs do you like?
I'm an SMF, a Swiftie motherfucker.
The only Weezer song I like is that one that had the video with the Happy Days thing. That was pretty.
Buddy Holly.
That was great. Yeah,
I love that song.
I worked a couple shows for them before, and once I worked for them in an arena, and their drummer was so sick. I was a runner, so I had to run errands and stuff. Their drummer was so sick. He and his wife both had like freaking walking pneumonia or something. Mm-hmm. And they were like, they don't know if he's going to be able to do the show. So they had me take him to the hospital, which was across the street from the arena. And I'm using my personal car today, and I'm not like a germaphobe or anything, but as soon as I dropped them off at the emergency room, I went to the CVS and got a can of Lysol and sprayed the whole backseat of my car and shit. And I had to go back and pick them up, and brought them back. And they gave him, I don't know what they gave him, but he was able to get through the show that night. And when I worked for him later on, I ran into him and I told him, asked him, did he remember? And he said, man, I've never been so sick in my life.
I love Weezer. I've loved them since day one.
They were fun. They put on a good live show.
I've done Weezer track by tracks, and some of them were good, but the last one I got was really bad.
Which was that? Do you remember?
I think the color. It was a color.
They're all colors, pretty much.
Oh, are they? Yeah, the album cover was like a color name.
They're all color names.
They're all color. And I don't remember, but there were ones I've done before that were earlier stuff, like that album that had Buddy Holly had
the Blue Album
tracks on it. A couple of them were okay, and then after that, but
someone said I think Ralph would pick Taylor Swift over Sammy Hagar. I know he would any day.
What?
You would pick Taylor Swift over Sammy Hagar.
I would pick Taylor Swift over Sammy Hagar, but I will pick Sammy Hagar over Slipknot.
Me too.
Good choice.
Sammy Hagar is not the worst. Slipknot is. I didn't know that till somebody donated for me to do first 2 Slipknot albums, which everybody says is their best work.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my God. It was so bad. It was like hardcore blast beats and boy band sections. It sounds like boy band. I'm like,
I've never been able to get into it.
I cannot listen to that. Listen to it.
Complete.
I have seen them live, and they put on a good live show. But a lot of people put on good live shows of music that I don't enjoy. But whatever,
Yeah, Garth Brooks. My friend took me to see Garth Brooks. He had a free ticket, and I was like, all right, whatever. The one thing about Garth Brooks concert, it's kind of hard to see him because everybody in the audience had 10-gallon hats on. Everybody had a.
But doesn't he fly over the audience then?
Yeah, he flew. He had pyro.
Paul Stanley, I want to come out there and see you.
It was an awesome.
He was a huge Kiss fan. That's why
Oh, he
his
was.
stage presence.
Man, that cover he did of Hard Luck
amazing.
Woman with Kiss is
I
great.
like
it.
I like
Remember
it.
when they played on like the Tonight Show or something and performed it? He sang it with Kiss as his backing band. That was great. Yeah.
There was part of the Garth Brooks show. He's standing center stage, right? He puts up his guitar and he goes, bing, bing. Those two notes, the place went.
Kind of like the Paul Stanley solo from Animalize. Like they didn't trust Bruce Kulick to do a solo. Well, Paul will do it.
It boggles my mind. Anybody sit there and watch Paul Stanley on Animalize Live, and then after it's over, think to yourself, people think this is the greatest frontman ever.
Who is the greatest frontman ever, in your opinion?
David Lee Roth, absolutely. Might not be the greatest singer ever, but he's the greatest frontman.
But I love his voice. I love his voice. Not now. Yeah. Sounds like a dead frog. But back then. I love Hear About It Later. I'm the One. The vocals on that shit's outstanding. It's not technically amazing, but the vibe and attitude crushes technically better singers like Sammy Hagar. Sammy Hagar, I don't even get how that guy is considered a good singer. I think his voice sounds like nails on a chalkboard. I think he's a horrible singer.
I don't dislike his voice. I hate to say it, I've always thought he and Dave Medichetti sounded a lot.
I don't hear it. Ian says the same thing.
I think they sound very similar.
I don't hear it. Ian says the same thing.
Especially younger Sammy, like when you hear Montrose, his voice was a little higher back then. It got a little more rough, later on or whatever. But yeah, I don't think he's a bad singer at all. But
I'll take
David Lee Roth is Van Halen. So
I'll take David Lee Roth's Dying Frog, Worst Day, over Sammy Hagar's Best Day. I don't get it. I don't understand the appeal of his voice. Montrose, great album. I think he ruins it. I think it's the weak link. They should have got David Lee Roth for that Montrose album. It would have been way better. Way better.
Someone wants to know, Tony, what do you hate?
What do I hate?
Yeah.
I'm not really into new metal. I'm not really into like screamo modern stuff. I don't like a lot of I don't like stuff like Coldplay, and I don't just a lot of just mainstream radio rock and stuff like that doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, pretty much me too.
Just I don't know, and there's metal bands that are popular too. I'm just not a fan of. I don't say I hate it, but I'm just not a fan of it. I'll give anybody the benefit of doubt to get us up there and performs, and I worked in the industry a lot, record labels and working gigs. I worked a lot of shows for musicians and stuff that are really cool people that I do not like their music at all. Like Dave Matthews, cool dude, best crew in the world. I would have gone to work with them if they, when they offered me a job. But the thing is, I'm not a fan of his music, But I'll tell you a funny Dave Matthews story. I worked at a Matthews gig once where that year that Judas Priest got back together with Halford and they did the Ozfest. And I went to see him like the couple nights before I worked the Dave Matthews show. And I'd worked for them several times. And I walked and I was talking to the production manager, and he was talking about, oh man, I heard you went to see Priest. How was it and stuff, And we're talking about it. And a little while later, I ran into Dave in the office, and Dave's like, hey, I heard you saw Priest. And I'm like, yeah, because Rob Halford still got it. And I'm going, yeah, he sounded great. And I go, what are you, like a closet metalhead, Dave? And he goes, I dig some Priest.
It's funny. So many of these contemporary artists or whatever they're called, they like metal. Like one of my wife's favorite musicians, Ryan Adams, not Brian Adams, Ryan Adams, huge black metal guy. He loves Merciful Fate.
Well, Ryan's he's from Raleigh, North Carolina area. Yeah. I know a lot of people that knew him like back in when he was nobody, and he grew up in the punk scene and everything around here.
But yeah, he plays all this hippie, not hippie stuff, but like soft alternative type rock stuff. So
kind of emo in a way.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny to see all these other bands.
I remember that country group, Rascal Flatts.
Yeah.
The guitar player, I can't remember his name. I was taking him to a golf course to play golf one day, and I had CDs in the car, and I had the early Pantera stuff. I had the Projects in the Jungle and I'm Tonight. There were bootleg CDs, but I had them in the car, and he was flipping through my CD. He goes, "Oh man, I've always wanted to hear these. Can I rip these when we get back to the venue?" I was like, "Sure." It's like, he was a Dimebag fan.
So funny. I always hear so many people that were into metal when they were younger, then they got out of it. I mean, how do you guys think that happens? I could never see that happening to me, and I always told when you get older, you're going to get out of metal, but I'm 45. I just turned 45 and I'm still listening to metal.
Because there are posers out there, dude.
I guess so, man.
You have to be metal all your life. It's a lifestyle. If you were into metal and then you're no longer into metal, you're a poser.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people in the 80s too. We grew up with it. Just it was just a fad for them. It
was. Look, I'll give you an example. And a lot of people I grew up with. One of them, like maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I unfriended him because he's such a douchebag asshole. This motherfucker, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Dio, arena shows, there he is. 90s comes, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Dio, in little clubs, he's nowhere to be found. That's a fucking poser. Then when they become big again, he comes back out. I see him every time I see this douchebag, it's at an arena show. I never seen him at a club in my life. Like, I like Stevie Nicks. I go see Stevie Nicks, he's there. I go see, I'm trying to think what other non-metal band I've seen. But he's at all these arenas. And, Iron Maiden, he's there. Because they're playing an arena now. He didn't go see him when they played the Revolution. He's a freaking poser. Well, anyway, I unfriended him because he started to mock me over my musical taste. I don't mock anybody. As much as I hate Sammy Hagar, if you love Sammy Hagar, I always say I hate bands, not fans. This motherfucker was doing telling me, you don't know what you're talking about. Bitch, where were you in the 90s when I was doing the horns at Dio at the Button South, moshing with 200 people?
200 people at a Dio show. Yeah. We lived through the 90s, man. I mean, I saw so many bands, in front of play in front of nobody, and just classic legendary bands.
But you know what was beautiful about those times is that the people that were there.
Exactly.
The people that did go, they down here, they packed the club. Dio packed the club, and Priest and Maiden, but it's a club where they were arenas.
Some of the best shows, man.
I'll tell you a funny story. I saw Priest when it was, I think it was right after Jugulator came out. I saw him on the first date of that tour in a club, but this was like in Richmond, Virginia, they used to do these kind of like a Live After 5 shows. They would do these on Wednesdays at this office complex. They had like a little amphitheater there, and they would do classic rock shows on Wednesdays. So they'd have like Edgar Winter or something, And so they had, we saw like Alice Cooper there and Twisted Sister, a whole bunch of different stuff. But Judas Priest was playing there with Ripper when Ripper was in the band. And this guy, we're in line to get in, and this guy's talking about, oh man, I heard on the radio that Judas Priest was playing. And I was like, I got to go see this. I mean, the tickets were cheap too, like $10, $15 or something. He's like, I got to go see Judas Priest. Man, I used to be the biggest Priest fan when I was in high school, But, you looked at the guy, he didn't look like a metalhead or anything. He's just he's one of these people, we're just saying he kind of grew out of it, right? He heard Judas Priest was playing, so he came to the show. So, I saw him in the beer line and stuff, anyhow, we're hanging out. Me and my friends are hanging out, whatever. And the band, Priest finally comes on. The guy spots me, he comes running over and goes, hey, man, is this Judas Priest? I'm like, yeah. Where's Rob Halford? And I'm like, he's not in the band, man. This is like another singer. They got another guy singing for him. He goes, oh, he sounds pretty good, So a few songs, I don't know, about half the show goes by. He comes back over to us, man, this guy's killer, man. God, he sounds just like Halford. God, I had no idea he was. I didn't, man. I just kind of got out of this stuff, man. I'm just out of the loop. I don't know who's in what band anymore and all. And he's like, what's Rob Halford doing? I said, last I heard, he came out of the closet and he's doing industrial music. Rob Halford is gay?
Oh,
And I'm like, this guy's just like, he's oblivious to, he doesn't know anything that's going on or whatever.
Yeah.
But he enjoyed the show. But he's one of the people, like Ralph said, he was a big metalhead, or he liked metal at one point. And he grew out of it. He had no clue what was going on. He went for the nostalgia of it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Somebody wants to know how you got your name, Tony Dio.
I used to wear Dio t-shirts a lot, and I had a Dio hand painted logo on the back of a jacket when I was in high school. And so a few people started calling me Dio. And then when I started roadieing with rock bands, everybody had a little nickname in the group or in the crew, and mine ended up being Dio. Cool. So when I one of my first meetings with Ronnie James Dio, and he asked me, he says, why do they call you Dio? You're just too fucking tall. And I said, I used to wear your shirts and stuff too much all the time. I always wore a Dio shirt. And he goes, that's a good thing you didn't wear Madonna shirts every day. That's Ronnie James Dio's humor. If you ever got to meet him, he was just a super cool guy.
I met him twice. I don't think
greatest guy ever.
I've never met a nicer guy, not even a non-celebrity. Because Dio had a way of making you feel really good after you.
Like you were just old friends.
Yep. He would ask me questions, look you right in the eye. He really appreciated you. He was so cool, man. I met him twice. He was the coolest, man. Yep.
Yeah, he was. He was just the greatest. I've seen him stand and, I went to a meet and greet one time at the 930 Club in DC. I think it was around the Killing the Dragon period, because I know it was Doug Aldrich and it was Jimmy Bain was still on bass then, and Ronnie spent a bunch of time with everybody. Took pictures. There was some dude that was really drunk up there, and I thought they were going to throw him out because he kept going up and hugging Dio and saying, "I love you, man." But he would hug him in back, very nice to him, And then he walked outside and it's snowing, and there's fans standing out in the snow waiting to meet him by the bus. And he just started taking photos and signing autographs. Tour managers comes out of the bus. It's like, Ronnie, we got to go. He goes, just a few more minutes, just a few more people. He wanted to make sure everybody that waited got a chance to meet him. And I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah, I can't find too many people like that. Halford versus Fight versus 2. Yeah. Halford versus Fight versus 2 for Rob Halford side projects.
I liked Fight. But my favorite was the Halford band.
Yeah, that Fight and Halford's a tie. I've never really listened to the 2 record ever. That first Halford record, God, it's just, I remember my friend was working at CMC or with Sanctuary at the time. I started working there a little while after that, but I remember that Halford album came out. He had the single for just a song, the CD single, because I got to play you something, and it was like, wow, freaking metal god's back. And then
I remember hearing a demo way before the album came out for Silent Scream.
Silent Scream, yeah.
And that's like probably my favorite song off that album. That's like Beyond the Realms of Death. You want to talk about an underrated killer classic Silent Scream. When it starts so mellow, but when it gets heavy, it gets that I am Ben, I am white. It's so metal. So
yeah.
That whole album, Resurrection, Cyber World, the one you hate with Dickinson. I love all that stuff, man. Great.
Yeah. Did you see that he did that tour with Maiden? It was Maiden, Queensryche, and Halford for the Brave New World tour.
It didn't come my way. I never saw the
I had to go to Pennsylvania to see that.
I saw Fight like 4 times.
Wow. Yeah, I saw him after the second album after Russ Paris Satchel had left the band, and it had the other guy, and it was but they played a small club in North Carolina.
I saw the headline, this Cameo Theater with Voivod opening.
Wow.
That was and I met Rob Halford. I didn't get a picture with him, unfortunately. I didn't have a camera, and I didn't think I was going to meet him. But there he is outside of his tour bus signing shit, and I had him sign my ticket. And I said to him, Rob, my favorite metal album of all time is Unleashed in the East. And he goes, thank you, I'll appreciate it. And I was like, holy shit, Rob Halford acknowledged me. That's amazing. Then
That's awesome.
I saw them with Metallica. It was Metallica, Suicidal Tendencies, Fight, and Candlebox, which was terrible. And then I saw them with Anthrax. Actually, I saw 2 of those shows. So I saw them a total of 5 times because they came back for the second album, and I saw them headline the Button South, the little club on that one. But yeah, I saw Fight a bunch of times, and Rob Halford never came back until Angel Retribution. So I didn't see him for, I don't think I would have went to the 2 show though, you know. But
he said he wants to do a remix of that album and bring the guitars up in it. I just remember that one song. It was something about a pig or something. What was it? I don't know. They had a video for it. That's the only thing I ever heard from it.
I don't remember.
But that was John 5. It was John 5 on guitar. So
I heard the whole album. Not my thing.
I watched an interview with him the other day with someone, I can't remember who it was, and they brought up that recording that Priest did with that whatever pop duo.
You know, some of it was leaked. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah. He said he'd like to release it now. He said, you know, he can't hurt us now. You know, basically.
It's total pop.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Very dangerous.
Yeah, he wanted to do it. He said the rest of the band was not on board.
Yeah. That was during the Turbo era. That was some dark times for me as an old metalhead. I had the Underground. You know, I had Coroner, Celtic Frost, Merciful Fate, King Diamond.
And I hadn't quite discovered all of that, you know, when Turbo came out. I was still in the mainstream, you know, what I was seeing in Hit Parader and Circus and stuff. It was, you know, I would discover Metallica, you know, right around that same time, you know, when Where Eye the Lightning came out and stuff. But other than that, I just really hadn't got into the whole underground yet. But I saw Priest on the Turbo tour with Doc and Open, and it was a great show. I mean, it was, you know, had a good time. It wasn't as good as Defenders of the Faith, but yeah, it was cool. Because I didn't see after that, I didn't see him on the next. I saw him on Painkiller. Did that thing come down to Florida called Operation Rock and Roll?
Half of it. We saw a metal church in Dangerous Toys, and up north Florida, Alice Cooper and Judas.
Yeah. The it was I can't even remember. It was Alice Cooper and Judas Priest and Dangerous Toys and Metal Church, I think it's what it was. Motorhead didn't play the show that we had here. They pulled off and went and played a club gig down in Wilmington that day. And that was supposed to be my first time to see Motorhead. I'd waited to see Motorhead for years and go, and they pulled off the show and didn't play.
Yeah.
So it was several years, maybe about 5 more years before I got to see them. But yeah.
Well,
interesting.
This has been an exciting show, nothing planned, and yet it kicked much ass.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
And I want to thank everybody who tuned in. We'll be back next week, hopefully, with our dream Alice Cooper set list. We were going to pick 15 songs that we would like to see Alice Cooper do live. We were supposed to do that tonight, but Manny couldn't make it, and Manny's a big Alice Cooper fan. So we're going to do it next week. And
it was a hard one to put together too. I'll tell you,
very hard one.
I might have another week to tweak it now.
I'm glad we have another week. I just did a pre-order for the new remaster of the
Billion Dollar Baby.
Billion Dollar Baby, yeah. It was signed by the whole band.
Oh wow,
that's cool. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, they did that. They released that back in 2001. The CD version came out, and because I've got this like a digipack, double CD.
Yeah.
And I got Alice to autograph it on I think it was the Brutal Planet tour, I guess, around that same period. And but yeah, that was a good live show you get with that.
Yeah, I got so many different versions of that album, but I saw it was autographed by that most of the, because that one guy is dead, but I couldn't pass that up. I had to get that.
Oh yeah, that's great. You get Alice and Michael Bruce and Neil Smith and Dennis Dunaway.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that.
That's awesome. Yep.
Well, right on, everybody. I want to thank you all for tuning in. And come back next Thursday on Almost Human Live. Well, we shall rule as we always do. Unless Wayne ain't here, then we suck.
Yeah, I wouldn't even show up.
We need,
I wouldn't even watch this if I wasn't here.
we need Wayne here, man.
I'll be here.
Hero. All right, everybody. Macamagov, guys. Toodaloo.
Bye-bye. 7angel.bandcamp.com. Go pre-order
Oh, yeah.
Skyward.
No. Take your time. Plug that shit properly.
All right. Everybody, right now, after we're done, go to severedangel.bandcamp.com and pre-order the new Severed Angel album called Skyward. All right? Do that right now.
I will do it right now.
I don't know if I mentioned last time, but I do have a new page on Facebook if anybody wants to check it out.
Right. Promote that.
Yeah, there's just the Metal Emporium on Facebook. If you just look up Metal Emporium on Facebook, you should be able to find it.
And go vote for Tony's dog. Tonight's the last night, right, Tony? And he's in like 6th place.
So it's the last night. It's getting he's falling down the ladder, but he's done so well. We're real happy, and we're so thankful for all the votes and everybody supporting it. I mean, he's done very, very well. I mean, there's thousands of animals out there that's been in this competition. So he's our little winner here anyway. So we're all good with it.
Very cool.
All right, everybody. And again, thank you, Wayne. Thank you,
Thank you, Ralph.
I'll see you.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
I'll catch you all on the flip side.
All right, bro.